is Valley News Live at 4.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. The man accused of killing a Moorhead taxi driver Wednesday morning has now been charged. Willie Sparkman Jr. has been charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated robbery, attempted aggravated robbery, and second-degree murder in the death of Abdullahi Mohammed Abdullahi. Court documents say Sparkman and a juvenile female were attempting to rob the taxi driver for rent money after two other robberies in Fargo earlier that evening. Sparkman told police he didn't mean to kill Abdullahi. We have an update to a story we were the first to tell you about this week. A Wahpeton teacher is on administrative leave while the school district continues its investigation into allegations that students were instructed to reenact the arrest and murder of George Floyd. New tonight on Valley News Live at 6, we're hearing from one of the women who brought the incident to school officials. She breaks down what students say unfolded in the classroom that day.
She said, "We're going to do this really quick." And she said, "Okay, everybody put your hands behind your back." And then she said, "Can you breathe?"
It's a story you'll only see tonight on Valley News Live at 6. A scary situation at a Fargo middle school today. A student told an administrator that someone brought a gun to school. The district says it happened at Carl Ben Eielson. The school resource officer searched the student and found an unloaded BB pistol. No BBs or any other form of ammunition was found. The district says no threats were made to students or staff and no one was hurt. The student has been suspended. Here's Hutch with a first look at your forecast. Hutch.
Stacy, hello. It's a beautiful Friday and temperatures today a little bit below average, but all in all, things pretty fair here across the valley. Taking a look at temperatures, we have mid and even a few upper 50s right now. The cool spot out in Bemidji, 50 degrees for Paul Bunyan as we wait for his arm to heal. 64 in Dickinson. As we look at our crystal clear skies, it looks quiet this evening. Get out and enjoy. There are big changes on the way and in fact appreciable rain for some areas stricken by drought this weekend. This evening, temperatures sneak down into the 40s after sunset. The wind will remain light and the skies remaining clear in Fargo and in Grand Forks. Coming up, we're going to have a look at that rain shower chance and we'll talk about who may be affected by some rainfall as we go into your Mother's Day as well here in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. A federal grand jury has indicted 4 former Minneapolis police officers involved in George Floyd's arrest and death. The 3-count indictment unsealed today alleges the officers all violated Floyd's constitutional rights from unreasonable seizure and excessive force. 3 of them are charged with violating Floyd's right to be free. All 4 are charged for failing to provide Floyd with medical care. Chauvin is also charged in a second indictment stemming from the arrest and neck restraint of a 14-year-old boy in 2017. A 1-year-old boy is dead after a house fire in northern Minnesota early this morning. It happened just before 2 in rural Reamer, which is about 40 miles east of Walker. The Cass County Sheriff says the home in Boy Lake Township was fully engulfed in flames. Deputies were able to get one woman out of the home safely. No word yet on the cause. An 8-hour hostage situation at a St. Cloud bank ended with the FBI storming the building and arresting the robber. He's now facing charges. 5 bank employees had been held hostage until 10:30 last night. At one point during the evening, the suspect used one of the hostages' phones and their Facebook account to post a brief live-streamed video. In a press conference held late last night, St. Cloud Police Chief Blair Anderson named 35-year-old Ray McNeary as the suspect. In the initial 911 call, the bank manager said he was a disgruntled man who was upset about a previous transaction. Anderson also said he's no stranger to St. Cloud Police, with an extensive criminal history going back a decade. McNeary is due in court today. Bemidji police are offering a $1,000 reward to anyone who can point them in the direction of the person who climbed on the Paul Bunyan statue. The Parks and Rec Department released surveillance video of someone climbing the statue, and it shows the moment his arm starts to break off. Take a look at this. Several people look on as someone hangs from the arm. Then the concrete gives way and one of the suspects falls to the ground. The Parks Department has secured the area for safety reasons. The city says repairs will start next week and additional conservation work will be done on both Paul and Babe. If you have information about the people in this video, contact Crime Stoppers of Minnesota online or call 1-800-222-TIPS. If your information leads to an arrest, you could qualify for a $1,000 reward. Pfizer is asking the FDA for full approval of its coronavirus vaccine. The vaccine was granted emergency use authorization back in December for use in adults 16 and older. However, 6 months of data is required for a biological license application, which is needed for full approval. The companies say they will submit this data on a rolling basis over the coming weeks. If granted, it will be the first vaccine to be fully approved in the country. Last month, the companies asked the FDA to expand the EUA to include adolescents ages 12 to 15. They're only applying for full approval for people 16 and up, but they say they will submit the supplemental BLA once they have 6 months of data in adolescents. The U.S. and Germany are at odds on the issue of waivers for patients on COVID-19 vaccines, as Berlin argues that a waiver would not increase production and would harm future private sector research. Claudio Lavanga reports.
Okay.
President Biden's announcement that he will support a waiver on patents of COVID-19 vaccines is really dividing political leaders around here in Europe. Now, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, said that he absolutely approves the idea, while Angela Merkel openly does not agree with it. Now, the German chancellor said that not only waivering a patent will increase production of the vaccines, it will also inhibit in the future research in the private sector. And today, the German health minister said that the problem does not rely in the protection of intellectual property, but it should rely on the capacity production as well as ensuring more quality.
In a jab toward President Biden, the German health minister said he would be delighted if the United States would export as many vaccines as Germany does. If you're looking for a place to get the vaccine, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's on the home page of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. President Biden says April's disappointing jobs report shows America has a steep climb to recover from the damage created by the pandemic.
Today's report is a rebuttal to loose talk that Americans just don't want to work. But what this report shows is that there's a much bigger problem. The data shows that more workers are looking for jobs, and many can't find them.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called that report disappointing and urged passage of the $4 trillion infrastructure and families bill before Congress. Expect some delays on I-94 in Fargo starting Monday. North Dakota DOT contractors are doing bridge work at the I-94 and I-29 interchange. Ramp access will remain open, but lanes on the interstate may be closed as the project progresses. Speeds will be reduced to 45 miles per hour. Once the work near the tri-level is done, the project will move to I-94 at 45th Street and 9th Street East. Speeds will be reduced to 25 miles per hour during these two phases. The work is expected to take until mid-August. The DOT says you can also expect delays on I-29 next week. Crews will be working on both directions of the interstate from 32nd Avenue South to 19th Avenue North. There will be some lane closures and the speed limit will be reduced. That project is expected to take about a week. Davies High School is breaking ground on a new turf field on Monday. It'll provide expanded space for soccer, football, track, cross country, softball, and baseball. The $1.3 million field is being privately subsidized thanks to a group of parents who began fundraising in 2018. The committee is also gathering donations to renovate the concession stands. The project is expected to be finished by the end of July. Just weeks before retirement, a Fargo High School principal got a surprise recognition this morning. Andy Dahlin is the 2021 Administrator of the Year for Fargo Public Schools. Before coming to Fargo, he was a teacher, athletic director, and associate principal in Grand Forks. He's been with the district for nearly 3 decades, starting back in 1993. Dahlin says the teachers and staff at North Fargo High made it all possible.
I think I'm just a little bit awestruck with regards to getting recognized here. I think part of leadership is making sure you hire the right people. So I've been so fortunate that I've had a great staff here to work with.
Dahlin is set to retire at the end of this school year. Employees from the health insurance company Medica came together to help out Fargo Public School students in need. They rally together each quarter to help people across the upper Midwest. This time their donations are going to the Clara Barton Husky Hutch Pantry. This morning the employees filled their cars with more than 24 boxes of food, sanitary products, and cleaning supplies and delivered them to the school. If you have a child in Fargo Public Schools and want to access the food pantry, all you have to do is fill out a participation form. You can find a link to that form right on valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Bennett Elementary School students are celebrating a successful food donation drive in a fun and unique way. The school collected more than 500 cereal boxes and set them up there for the Great Cereal Box Race. The event was a great visual way for students to get a good look at their hard work.
Having the school get involved in something fun that's not just academic, but to celebrate the school and our community, I think they're pretty excited about it.
The donations will benefit the Great Plains Food Bank. Breaking news just into our newsroom. Emergency crews are on the scene right now of a body that was found along the Red River. Here's a look at the scene happening right now. This is right off 52nd Avenue South in Fargo, right off the Convent Road. Right now we aren't sure of the circumstances surrounding this death. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to learn more.
Good job locking me out of Mom's computer. Yes.
Straight ahead, some techie Mother's Day gift ideas for all you last-minute shoppers.
A few of us woke up in the frosty teens and 20s today as we can't shake the cold air here in the valley. Because we started so low, temperatures were cool throughout. We'll have details on your forecast, which includes some very beneficial rain for us as we go through the weekend. I'll have the latest right after this.